Hello everyone, and welcome to our game of World of Warships. Today's replay is from myself, and I'm in the Fujin, the tier 5 premium Japanese destroyer. I'm on the map straight, and it's unfortunately a standard battle, but we are top tier, which is pretty nice. I'm also divisioned with two of my friends, whom you might know if you watch my stream regularly. Now, my friend needed some experience in the Britannia, and I happily came along to club some seals, I suppose. So, the Fujin, if you don't know, is a kamikaze class destroyer, a ship that is no longer available, basically, because it was considered a bit too strong. Now, originally this ship was sold at Halloween, and it looks like my torpedoes are not hitting anything. Yeah, I think this ship was sold on Halloween like 2 years ago or something. Is it 3 years ago? I don't know. But anyway, I'm also using Yamamoto as a captain for some additional shield clubbing power because it wasn't unfair enough otherwise, I suppose. So, standard battle, we spawned here at our cap. So basically we are here in a defensive position, and first we want to make sure that our cap is secure, and then we could consider an aggressive move. Now there are some ships who are coming our way, and look at that! I just hit an enemy destroyer and sunk him. Now the fireworks you just saw is of course Yamamoto. I got first blood, so I'm getting one additional charge on my consumables. So another smoke screen, which is certainly welcome. Now those two enemy battleships, they are looking as if they are going pretty much straight ahead, so they will be my next target. This also helps protect my friends, because if those ships push in here, they might get some crossfire on our guys. Well, I mean crossfire, there's only here off in front of us, I suppose, so... But anyway, taking care of those battleships is probably rather helpful. So let's see if I can manage that. Now, one of the advantages of low tiers, one of the disadvantages of low tiers is you get things like that a lot more than on higher tiers, like this, probably the Kirov launching some 4.5 kilometer torpedoes, who couldn't hit anything other than probably me. Now I'm too close to this Myogi, but, well, one of the advantages on lower tiers is a lot of enemy battleships might just even ignore you if you are spotted. And there goes our Kirov. So yeah, but anyway, I'm trying to stay far enough away from the Myogi that he can't see me. Of course, if they know I'm here, I mean, they should know I'm here, and I might just go for evasive maneuvers. Then again, it's low tier. Although I have to admit that recently in higher tiers the skill level of players is not necessarily higher. It's just that on low tiers I completely understand that this might be new players, and on higher tiers it's just a little bit more questionable why they are still like sailing so much in straight lines. Now this is one battleship gone. Now you would think the battleship next to it has learned from this, knows that there are torpedoes coming, and maybe tries turning towards the torpedoes, which would also give him a better angle against the battleships behind me. But it looks like he is content to just continue on his merry way, so... probably speeding up. I'm trying to spread out my torpedoes a little bit. Of course, the Fujin has a very fast torpedo reload, so you can launch your torpedoes a lot. Now, overall, this is still pretty balanced ship-wise, but he's dodging the first salvo, I believe, but the last launch might just get him. And there you go. Now on the enemy side of the map, let's call it that, we've basically lost everything that hasn't retreated. So all our forces are now here in a defensive position. We have 3 destroyers who are kind of watching center. Now we just have to finish off the last remaining ships here, and then we can plan an offensive move. Now I could try to use my guns here on the Nicholas, and there might actually be reason to do so, but I'm kind of trusting in my team to take care of it, and indeed they did. I'm still, I guess, more used to the higher tier destroyers, and in higher tiers, if you get spotted, you often get devastated really quickly if you have enemy ships like within 10 kilometers of yourself. And this Kirov could have done a lot of damage to me, in theory. So I'm playing it safe, I suppose. Now, ship-wise, we have a slight lead, but it's still pretty much anyone's game. The enemy has quite a few healthy ships over there. And, well, it's a standard battle. We could just sit here and defend, I suppose, but where would be the fun in that? Now I found myself a Xianyang, a ship that cannot torpedo me. He is too close for me to be in concealment, so might as well open up with my guns, but he has a V170 as help. And let's just see if we can randomly spread out some torpedoes in that direction. Now, while the Pan-Asian destroyer can't torpedo me in my smoke, German one certainly can, so let's just be a bit more careful here. Also, the enemy team is kinda moving in our direction. So I'm slightly moving a little bit back here. And then we will see if I'm trying to torpedo those battleships, or if I decide to go after the destroyers if they are spotted again. Now I have friendly battleships here behind me, so basically one of my jobs is to make sure that the enemy destroyers aren't getting too close, so that my friends here are getting torpedoed.
Torpedoes, dead ahead.
And it looks like I found some torps. Now let's go with some more blind torpedoes into some smoke screens and basically see what happens. Ship-wise, the enemy team has taken the lead by now, so at this point we kinda have to be we have to sink something, I suppose. Now the Kirov, still around here on the left side, will hopefully go down to the Furutake. We have Yogi, who is still a little bit far behind, but he is coming up here. And now I finally decided to use my guns, try to get some hits. As is usual, I'm not giving enough lead, which... yeah. My excuse is I'm not used to those guns, but it's... hitting enemy destroyers... all the way a bit sketchy, I suppose. So, taking those shots might not have been worth it, especially since there is a lot of return fire coming in. But I'm still reasonably healthy, so... And with the Kirov dealt with, again, we are in the lead. Now I found some torpedoes here, but they can't hurt me because they are Pan-Asian ones and they ran out anyway. Now I'm still suspecting that the enemy destroyers will operate somewhere here in the middle. There is some chance when we look at the last spotted position of the V170, it could go behind us. There is also a Texas who might just try something like that. But for the most part I think it's just like both teams sniping through this center gap. Now there is an emerald, I believe, inside this smoke screen, so let's just get some random torpedoes in, and spotting her. It looks like I'm close enough to detect her while shooting in smoke. So you'd expect that this ship is now panicking and running away, but instead he is just sitting there and... okay. So have some torpedoes. I guess he was in an emerald and he was just tired of being in a match. That's good for us. So that leaves the enemy team with still 3 battleships here, the Texas and the Congo. I'm not sure, they might just try something like going behind our backs. I'm not entirely sure where the destroyers went, because I would have expected them to stay here somewhere in the center and try to get torpedo hits on the ships behind me. And that's also the main reason why I'm very careful here still. Now, got some spotting on the V170. Now, of course, the concealment in the Fujin is amazing. And it being a premium ship means that I obviously have a captain with concealment expert, so this is a huge advantage in lower tiers. Now, on the one hand, I kind of want to go in here and get closer to those battleships to torpedo them. But if I get detected by the enemy destroyers and I'm, well, surrounded by enemy battleships, it might just end pretty badly for me. So once again, I'm just playing it careful here. I'm a screening force for the battleships behind me. Now, meanwhile, the one enemy destroyer has snuck by the left side, and we have a Kaiser. I'm not sure why the Kaiser is trying to push here. Imoge is also going this direction, and so is a Furutaka. So, okay. Let's see if they can deal with this destroyer. Meanwhile, I decided to go in to potentially try to help the Kaiser, but this Kaiser is getting sandwiched between 2 destroyers, so it's probably not very healthy for him. Now, this Congo is outside of my torpedo range, but who knows, maybe he'll sail into it. There is a small chance, I suppose, and those torpedoes reload so quickly that I feel like I can just launch them here and I'll have them ready again when I need them. Now, V170 is here. I'm engaging him. He's on pretty low health. And yeah, I'm trying to help my Kaiser here. Of course, I completely miss my shots. So let's just get some torpedoes off in case he just stays on his course and sails around here, because you never know. Now the V170 could torpedo me, so if I get very close to him, I have to be careful. And I still have 1 torpedo launcher ready. 1 should be all I need in case we are getting in a very close confrontation here. So torpedoes are on the way. And yeah, that worked. Now the Kraken's unleashed and I'm actually healing some damage because, you know, Yamamoto. Totally balanced in Tier 5 premium destroyers, I suppose. So, this battle is looking pretty good. Overall, my next target would be to take out the last remaining destroyers, and after that I can simply just hunt down battleships. Now, of course, speaking of battleships, 2 Congos are having... They have taken an interest in me. And makes total sense, they really wanna get rid of me here. So I'm popping some smoke to drop into concealment here. Also, we have a Texas trying to go for our cap, but 1 division weight of mine is on his way to stop that, and there might be a Furutaka reinforcing him. So we should be alright over there. Now, the enemy destroyer is probably still around somewhere, but hard to know where. He could be this gap, maybe trying to torpedo my Britannia, or he could just be here exactly in front of me. So let's just sink him. Good thing is he can't torpedo me because he is Pan-Asian. And I actually hit with my guns, which is a plus. So, 4 against 2, we pretty much have this in the bag right now. Because, I mean, what's this Congo going to do against me? I can just sit here and torpedo him all day long. And if he sails away, I can just cap. The Texas is gone. So, I guess there goes the only hope of any sort of victory. Now the only thing that remains to be seen is, will we sink the Congo before we cap? Will the Congo sail into torpedoes? Let's just speed this up here a little bit. And let's just see what happens. So first torpedo launch, probably not going to happen. The Congo is still sailing away here. I'd need the Congo to turn back in. And well, I mean, if the Congo isn't turning back in, then we are just capping this, I suppose. He also has the problem of fighting the Britannia behind me. So looks like second torpedo launch is also not going to happen, but thankfully those torpedoes reload so incredibly quick that we now have our third salvo on the way. I'm also detected because I was too close. And well, with those torpedo hits, it's just simply use the guns and finish him off. Would launch some more torpedoes, but they won't arrive in time. Now the question is, who gets the kill, and that would be me. So here we are with the results. The seal clubbing was a great success. It was still at times, I guess, somewhat close as a match. But, you know, they couldn't stand against the might of the Fujin, captained by Yamamoto. So I earned myself the Confederate 3 devastating strikes, a Kraken, and first blood. I scored 105,000 points of damage, and I sunk 7 ships. So that's some low tier seal clubbing. It was an enjoyable match nevertheless. I hope you enjoyed watching it, and I'll see you guys next time.